Hey, babe.
Hey.
How you doing? All right. So one of the most difficult things that you will do in your life is stand for your marriage when your spouse wants absolutely nothing to do with you. Perhaps they're in an affair or they just don't love you anymore. That's what they say. Or they're looking for a different lifestyle. Whatever the reason is, you have a conviction that you want to fight for this marriage. You believe in this thing. And it is an incredibly difficult journey, as you can attest to.
So what's the first thing you do when you're about to embark on a difficult journey? You try to find support, right? And let me tell you, you will be hard-pressed to find support when it comes to fighting for someone who at the moment seems like they don't want to be with you. Maybe they've even verbalized that.
You've heard things like, I love you, but I am not in love with you. I married you out of obligation. We both deserve to be happy.
You
might have
deserve
heard
better than me.
than me.
Yes, yeah.
You might have heard some really hectic things like, I hate you. You've ruined my life. Terrible, terrible things that you've heard.
I haven't been happy for a really long time.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds of things. And so you take that information to your, in inverted commas, support system, and they go, well, he just doesn't know what you're worth, and you should kick him to the curb and find somebody who can recognize your value.
Yeah.
And for some reason that doesn't sit well. Like you were saying earlier, you have this conviction to fight for this person, to fight for this marriage, to do everything that you can possibly do for your family. Because, I mean, this decision has some pretty severe consequences, even if you want it.
Yeah.
So one of the, like we were saying, one of the hardest things to find is people to support you. And there's a reason for that. They're not bad people.
Yeah.
They see your pain, right? And they want to end the pain. And they see the person causing your pain is the spouse.
Yeah.
And they recognize they can't change the spouse. And so the only sort of solution that they can see is, okay, well, just stop loving the spouse and find somebody who does love you.
Yeah.
And then your pain will be gone. Now, here's the problem with that. First of all, they're not the ones who have to live in the consequences of making the decision to end your marriage.
Yeah.
You are. So it's easy for somebody on the outside to go, just leave him or just leave her. They're not the ones who have to hold the children at night. They're not the ones who are going to have to look those kids in the eye one day and go, Mommy and Daddy, why are you not together? Or Mommy, why did Daddy leave? Or Daddy, why are you and Mommy not together? You know, those are very real consequences of ending a marriage. And
Yeah, and look, there are things that your support system will say that are true.
Yes.
They will say things like, you deserve better.
you do.
And you do deserve better. And you are worth more than this. You are worth more than this. But there is legacy, and there are long-term, to your point, consequences of these decisions. And if we can recognize that your spouse is a broken person making decisions out of their own brokenness, or perhaps limerence, if you don't know what that is, we'll put a video in the description to describe to you that explains what limerence is, that they're madly in love with somebody else, and now they're treating you terribly. You do deserve better than this. We are not saying that you should be a doormat and you should just be a sucker for punishment, and that there's some toxic reason for us to want to see you hurt. But we know firsthand, and with thousands of clients that we've seen, that if you can hang on, if you can outlast this thing and work on yourself and become the best version of yourself and learn to forgive, that you can have a marriage restored to something that you can't even begin to imagine. It can be so much better than what it was before, even if it was great, and certainly so much better than what it is right now. And we know that these people that we speak about, these will be people that you love and trust. It will be your parents and your best friends and your siblings and even your pastor and the people at church who have authority, spiritual authority that you trust, and you think, oh my gosh, if that person's saying there's no hope for my marriage, and then maybe I should give up. And here's what we'll tell you. What God has put together, let no man put asunder. No man. Not the pastor, not the elders, not your mom, not your dad, no man. The only person that can make that decision is you. And you only make that decision from a place of wholeness and healing. You've walked a journey of healing, of working on yourself, of being in the best possible space that you can be, so that when you make that decision, it's not from pain. It's not a knee-jerk reaction, and it's not because you've heard all this stuff from other people, but it's because you know that it's the right thing. God has released you from this thing. And we know, we have so many stories, reconciliation stories, people who stood for, like us, you stood for 6 months, even though we had
Well, I stood for 9.5 years.
You stood for 9.5
just badly.
years. Yeah. We have success stories of people who stood for 5 years for their marriage. Now, I know if you're listening to this and you're in this situation, you're like, oh my gosh, there is no ways I can do 5 years. That's not what we're asking you to focus on. What we are saying is that there is hope for your marriage. And with the greatest of love, you say to people if you decide to stand for your marriage, and we would highly encourage you to do that under most circumstances. If there are people who are speaking something else into your life because of other than the decision that you've made, you just lay a healthy boundary. Say, guys, I know you love me. I'm so grateful for your support. Thank you so much. But I've decided to stand for my marriage. If you can't support that, I understand. I don't think you're bad. I get it. But then please let's talk about the sport or the weather or let's not talk about my marriage. If you can't blow wind into my sails, this journey is tough enough as it is. I need support. If you can't give that, no problem. I get it. We're just not going to talk about my marriage.
So do you know what was really helpful for me is what I realized is part of the reason everyone felt the need to give their opinion is because I was so broken. It's because I was mostly broken at your hands. And so every time I took my brokenness to somebody, they felt the need to end the pain, fix the brokenness. And the thing that I found really changed things for me with regard to supporters was I stopped being broken. And it wasn't just like, okay, I'm not going to be broken anymore. I was working on myself. I was walking through pain that I'd been carrying with me for years and years and years that I'd brought into the marriage. And so as I was healing and becoming better, I found myself complaining less and less about you, less and less about the situation. And so because I wasn't so broken, people didn't feel the need to fix me. So they didn't feel the need to give their opinion into the situation because I was doing just fine.
That's so powerful. So powerful.
So that's another way to kind of get people to sort of back off. Your way is amazing and is probably necessary, especially in the beginning of the journey when you haven't quite reached those healing points yet. But I think one of the most powerful ways is for them to see this is not destroying you. If anything, this is bringing out the best in Adelé. I haven't seen her like this in years. Oh my gosh, she's so much better. And they'll say the same thing your spouse will say. Oh, you see, this is what she needed. He's actually the toxic one. He brings out the worst in her, but they don't know the journey that you're on. Yeah. So the other thing that's helpful, especially if you're deciding to stand, is try to keep your circle small. Try not to bring too many people in on what's happening in your marriage. Because the less opinions you have, you know, when I first started standing, I was reading all kinds of self-help books, listening to all kinds of, relationship videos. I was following a specific program. I was seeing a therapist. I was going to codependent support group. I was reading the Bible. I was so overwhelmed because, codependent support group are saying, bring about consequences. And Jesus is saying, forgive. And the therapist is saying, he's toxic and will never change. And this person's going, people can change. It was so
confusing.
Yes, like you're being pulled. And it's like you finally read something and it resonates with you. And then you read or watch something else that contradicts that thing. And so the other thing I would suggest is just limit what you allow in. And you can do that by making choices like put the self-help books down, or, just pick one or two things to follow that are in line with your decision, and keep your circle small. Try not to involve too many people. Now, if you've already done that, that's okay. It's okay.
Sure.
You do the growth thing. You do the, I'm doing great. I stopped getting the pity, like, oh, shame, Adelé, the better I started doing. Like, as people stopped asking me, I would joke, like I'd get to church or something and people go, oh, Adelé, how are you doing? Or how's Ren? And, or, things like that. And I'd be like, I'm still married. Like it just became like this. I was fine. Because I was loving who I was becoming. It was hard. It was hard to watch you become the worst version of yourself. It was hard to watch you sort of, circle the drain, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I was doing well.
Yeah.
And because I was doing well, people felt, and don't get me wrong, I went through my phase. I went through the up and down. I hate him. I love him. I don't want him. I do want him, I went through all of that as well. But once I think one of the hardest things is making the decision and then sticking to it.
Yeah.
So if you're double-minded and you're like, people are going to see that. And so most of the time they're going to agree with what it is that you want. And so if today you're hurting and he's a bad person, then they will jump on that bandwagon and dog on you. And then you read something that kind of convicts you that maybe it's not all him, and maybe you have some work to do. And so you start doing that work, but they didn't do that part. So the next time you have an encounter with them, they're like, how's that piece of garbage husband of yours,
Yeah.
They're still stuck in what you left them with. So
So what's really important, critical, is for you to establish what your value is, your belief around this marriage. In order to get to a place where you're not double-minded, you make a decision based on your beliefs and values, not on your emotions. Your emotions are going to be all over the place. The wisest guy in the world, King Solomon, said, the heart is deceitful and wicked above all things. Who can understand it? Whatever the heck you do not follow your heart. Right? Follow your convictions, your beliefs, and your values, what you believe to be the right thing, because the journey is going to be incredibly difficult. It already is if you're watching this video. So you stick to your guns, no matter how difficult it gets, because there is hope for your marriage. If there is hope for these two people, there is hope for your marriage.
Yep.
And we are not an anomaly. We work with thousands of marriages, hundreds of marriages who have been reconciled. Marriages that looked like there is no possible way that this marriage is going to be restored. We live inside of that. We see it all the time. So we'd encourage you to not follow your emotions. Be very aware of the circle around you. Create that circle. You teach people how to treat you, right? So like you share with them what you need from them. If they can't give that, that's no problem. We won't speak about the marriage, and you live by your convictions. It's really, really important. Okay, so considering the fact that you need like-minded people, or people who are going to blow wind into your sails around you for this journey, we have a community.
And they're amazing.
They are amazing.
They are absolutely incredible.
Incredible people.
We call them the marriage heroes.
The marriage
because
heroes
to us, those people are the heroes. Those people who wake up every day and fight for things that people will say, oh, there's no hope.
It's time to give up.
Yeah. They are incredible people.
They are incredible. And there are people who have just joined, who've just started their stand for their marriage, and there have been folks who've been standing for years, and they have incredible knowledge. They understand our principles and the principles that saved our marriage and thousands of other marriages, and they are so supportive and so wise. And so we'd encourage you, if you can, there'll be a link at the bottom of this video to join the community. We also coach. If you want to hop right into coaching, both Adelé and I do coaching. She's an amazing coach. She's incredible. So we'd encourage you to find a place. It doesn't have to be us. We are not the be all and end all of saving marriages. But if you do want to, there are some links at the bottom of this video. We believe in you. We have so much respect for you for even watching this video and being willing to stand for your marriage. We've got your back. We are supporting you all the way, and we'd love to walk that journey with you. Love you, babe.
Love you back.